a career transitioning into the project management space and you're ready to like make your next big move. People that looking to build skills to level up their current role. Probably you're in another field or you're even in the PM field and you're looking for skills to upgrade your role, or you're just here for foundation knowledge. You're starting afresh. This is the first time you want to learn about project management. I know there's a certain number of people that are here. We can put it on the comment section so that we can start knowing ourselves and where we are, in our career space. I might not be able to see this comment section because I'm sharing my screen. But yeah. So we can put that in the comment section. Thank you. So I got people that won. Yes, people that are, looking for foundation knowledge. Thank you. People that are exploring to, move into their next career. You currently want to transition into project management. We'll do that in the next 5 minutes so that we can interact and network it ourselves. I'm giving time for other people to join the course so that once we start, everyone is carried along. All right, thank you so much, guys. So I think for this journey for project management, before I start, I really want us to have like a very open mind, right? I really want us to have like a conversation. I'll take maybe just less of the time to go through my slides, and I'll leave a bulk of the time for us to ask, certain questions that I want to ask, even, related to project management, not in my slides, whichever one you want to use to ask your questions. I'd like us to really have an open-minded towards this webinar. So I'll just give a brief background about myself. I think I've already called out my portfolio, so let me not go in depth about it. A project manager, right? In terms of the tech industry, I'm an agile project manager for the past 5 years. I've worked on various technological tools. I currently work at MTN, and one of the project managers that worked on the Ziggy chatbots, right, where we integrated, OpenAI. So I'm from the southern part of Nigeria, right, and I'm an Edo babe. I don't know if there's any Edo person in this place, Sha, but I'm an Edo babe, and yeah. So if you're Edo, I'm one of you. So yeah, I'm here today, and
Proudly, I do.
so the journey so far has, really been great for me, and I'm just here today to talk about it, and to also help, one of us and all of us that are on this call to go through the journey together. Okay, so let's dive into it. We hear the word project management. What is project management? What comes to our mind first? First thing I usually tell people is that everybody literally, right, has done project management one way or another in their life, right? The reason why I'm going to the project management is basically just a process of, you're planning something, you're organizing something, you're getting people to get the work done for you, right? And all of these you're planning is to make sure that you meet a specific goal, right? Is to make sure you meet a specific KPI. So it's just meet specific goals, meet specific objectives, right? So that's why I usually say everybody has either done project management in their life. So for example, I'll start off of maybe even when you're in school, you probably, just even in church, maybe even in your family, they said they're about to do maybe a birthday party for someone in your house. You probably were the one that led the birthday party and you organized everybody to come for that event. You organize people that probably needs to cook, people that, the venue that, this party is meant to be held. This is also project management. Even in church, you're organizing events in church, right? You're organizing, the services that are going to have. As far as you're planning something, you know how to plan, you know how to organize, right? And you know how to bring people together to actually do the work. Trust me, you can do project management, right? So literally project management is an open role whereby people that know how to plan, organize, which literally everybody has done one way or another in their life, right, is a project manager, right? So when we say who can be like, a project manager, like I said, it's not about you just being probably in the tech space or being, in the healthcare or even in the construction field, right? as far as you can bring in people together, as far as you can, maybe you take up, they say, okay, let's plan this particular event, right? For example, you take that particular event, let's say birthday, you say, okay, I'm planning an 80-year-old birthday for your grandparents or your parents, and you pick up, the events that you're going to do that birthday. You keep up the cake, the person that is going to do the cake. You pick up, maybe the DJs, people that are going to do the music. These are just breaking into real life scenarios for us. As far as you plan that event, right? The specific goal was for you to create a birthday party for somebody. And you have done that. And after the birthday, everybody's happy, everybody is dancing, eating cake and eating rice, and they are going home. That's literally project management. It's a project and you have handled it. Even your life is a project. The way you handle your own life yourself is also a project, right? You plan to say this year, I want to learn project management, right? What do you do to make sure that you meet those specific goals, right? What kind of courses are you taking to make sure that you meet those specific goals? You're already planning, you're already organizing, right? You're already finding sources or resources to make sure that, you're a project manager, maybe by the end of, 3 months, 6 months, giving yourself timeline. So you're literally already doing project management. So anybody and everybody can actually do project management, right? So that's basically what the project management is about. Like I said, project management does not just stick into the tech space or into construction space. You can also be in the healthcare space as a project manager. You can be in the construction industry as a project manager. You can be in the finance space as a project manager. You can be in education space as a project manager. Any industry you can think of, you can be a project manager in that industry. But for you, you have to say, okay, this is the industry I'm focused on. For me, I'm coming from the tech space, right? You can say, for me, this is the project. I'm going to be in the tech space. I'm going to be in the education space. And this, you have your own line of things that you do as a project manager in that particular industry, right? Then who can be a project manager? There are different roles for project management. It's not just project management. Some people call them program managers, right? Some people call them scrum masters. Some even product managers, people just name them product managers. But in reality, they are doing project management work. Some people call them delivery managers. Some titles, technical project managers, operations managers, different name, events project manager, agile project management, construction project manager. So there are different role name given to project management. All of these names stick out to the goal of you are planning you have a particular goal you want to meet, and you're planning towards it. You're organizing it. You're gathering resources that will make sure that that project is successful. You are monitoring to make sure that that project or that goal is met. You are also following up to make sure that the executors are actually meeting up with their timelines, right? To make sure that that goal is met. That's basically what project management is about. And here I just put like a salary base here, like if you have like over 2 years of experience in Lagos, specific in Lagos for Glassdoor, right? I got this data from Glassdoor. They earn over like 300 to 350K base, that's net, right? For you to take home. So if you're looking into project management, maybe you're a girl, like you want to be a big girl and you want to be self-independent, project management is the right goal for you actually, right? Because as much as you're already planning how you want to set up your wardrobe, that's already project management. Or the clothes you want to wear out, that's already project management. But that's jokes aside. So different roles for project management. What role do project managers play, right? What are the core responsibilities of project management? One of the core responsibilities that we have mentioned now is defining project goals, right, and scope. You just defining a project goal to say, oh, you are going to build maybe a mobile app, or you want to build a duplex, right? Or you want to build a curriculum for a particular course, right? That's you defining a project goal, right? Or a project scope. This is the scope. You want to build a duplex. This is the scope of the house that you want to build. If it's a mobile app, this is the scope of the features that you need to have, right, in that particular mobile app. So you have already defined the project goal and the scope. That's a core responsibility as a project manager. Another one is for you to, create like defined plans and schedules. As a project manager, your core responsibility is for you to, detail out plans. It's more like you are planning for people. And that's literally how I, put it. So you have your goal, you have your scope. right? You have broken down this goal. Let's say your goal is for like 6 months, 6 months span, right? Or 3 months duration. And within that 3 months, you should be able to know that each month, right, you need to meet a specific goal so that you can meet up with the bigger goal, right? So once you break, that's going into the second one, we say detailed planning and schedules. So once you are able to break down each of those tasks that you need to meet, right, in order to make sure you meet the bigger goal, the bigger scope of exactly what projects you are going to build. For example, for this class, I think I'm just going to be going through like maybe a mobile app, right? So you want to build a specific mobile app for, let's say, people to come and be taking classes or courses, right? For that specific mobile app that we're building, right? Let's say we call it Career Leap app. For people to come and be taking courses or taking, different classes, you detail plan to say, okay, in 3 months, we want to build this particular mobile app. For the 3 months, what are we going to do, right? What kind of resources do we need? Basically, you need like maybe developers, right? You need resources like yourself, project managers. You need resources that people are going to come and test that particular application, right? These are different resources that you need. You need to identify each of the resources to make sure that that project is successful. You might need cyber security people, right? You need the backend. You need someone to come and do UI UX for you. These are different resources that you need, and you have to gather those resources together, right? After gathering those resources and you guys have met, you have planned, and you have defined your schedule to say we're going to finish this app in the next 3 months, right? For example, you then have to have like a schedule, right? Maybe daily check-ins, weekly check-ins, right? Monthly check-ins, to make sure that you're actually meeting up with those specific goals that you have put in place. So even as much as you have those schedules, there are some risks that you can see, right? Even when you start a project, you might see that, oh, you need a certain resource, you don't have this resource, this delivery is not, going to go as planned, right? There's a risk that, oh, you need an internal or an external code for you to make sure that you are building this particular application correctly. Another core responsibility of a project manager is very core, is communication. Communicating with your stakeholders and always keeping them engaged and always keeping them in the know. What we mean by stakeholders, basically stakeholders are people that are interested in your project, right? You're not just doing the project alone. If you're working in a company, your stakeholders can be your senior management, right? Your stakeholders can be your clients. Your stakeholders can be, anybody that is interested in that particular project that you're working on. They might not be the one doing the work, right? But they are the ones funding this project, right? Let me put it that way. They're the ones funding this project. They're the ones putting in their money into this project, right? These are your stakeholders. So the key responsibility of the project manager is communicating. As much as you are communicating with your stakeholders, you still need to be communicating with the people, the team members that you are working with. Communication is very key as a project manager, because if you don't know how to like communicate, if you don't know how to pass a message, right? Maybe you are done with a meeting with your stakeholder or your senior management about a particular project. They tell you that they want to build a mobile app, and then you go and meet your team and say they want to build a web app. That's like two different things, right? I'm just giving a very wide example. So that's why communicating is very key. You have to pass the right message at the right time to everybody. And another thing as a project manager is that you are literally involved in everything that is going on. You are around the clock, because everybody, you are the eye of the project. Everybody is seeing you. Everybody knows you. And this role is very, very visible. It's very visible down to senior management level, because even the stakeholders, you also have to provide them updates. And that's where communication comes into place. If you're providing somebody updates to say, oh, for a project that is planned for 3 months, right? You give them updates to say, we have done XYZ for, this month, right? We're left out with XYZ and we have risks of ABC. If you don't know how to communicate that properly, the stakeholders are going to flare up and they're going to be like, what's going on in this project? This project is not moving properly. Whereas you are working very, very well. Your team members are working very well. But however, you're not communicating and you're not providing the right updates to your stakeholders. Another key responsibility is to make sure that, each deliverables meets quality standards. It's very key. Like I said, project managers are eye of any given project. They know what's going on. They know the ups and downs. You need to know, you need to be very involved in your project as a project manager. You know the ups and downs, you know what's going on, you know at every task that is going on, you know exactly the status of each of every task that is going on, right? So in order to make sure that you meet quality standards that are the eye, you need to make sure you are monitoring every stage that is going on in terms of project management. That's why this particular diagram is here. These are like the project life cycle of project manager. You go around this circle as a project manager. The first stage is planning, right? So planning is you get the scope, which I've talked about here. You define the scope. This is where you are planning. This is where you are planning the goal. This is where you are planning your scope, right? Once you are done planning, you are done planning, you have done your schedules. This is where it comes into planning and schedules. You have gotten your resources, right? This is planning. Planning takes like almost, if you don't plan well, you will fail. So planning is like your foundation of every project. So if you don't plan properly, your project will definitely fail. So it's from planning that people will know that this project, whether you will fail or you not will fail. Let me use pigeon. So it's that planning is very key, and you have to take due diligence about planning. So after planning, right, you move into what do they call it, execution and controlling, right? So once you move into planning, you move into execution. In this particular phase, right, some people will say, okay, before planning is initiation, which is you getting your goals or your scope, then you move into planning, then you move into execution. Once you are done planning, now you know your resource, you know your schedules, you know your time, you know when you are going to meet and everything as a team. It's at this phase, right? It's at this phase that you now say, okay, this is what we are doing. You're not checking in, you're having check-ins to say what we are doing, is it meeting quality standards, right? Is it meeting the what do you call it, your deliverable timelines, right? Is at this stage you're also communicating with your stakeholders, which is here. Is at this stage you're also communicating with your team members, right? Which is the monitoring and which is also the execution and then also the monitoring, right? Is at that phase you are monitoring, you're checking that you're meeting your timelines, you're communicating with your stakeholders, you're carrying everybody along, everybody's engaged, nobody is in the loop, or everybody is carried along with the particular project. Once that project is done, right, you are basically done with your project, right? That's where we now go into closing. So closing is the last phase of every project. I miss this part, which is initiation. After initiation, planning, executing, and controlling, then you go into the last phase, which is closing. Closing is the last phase of project management. That means you are done, and you have said that in the next 3 months you have met your timeline, and you are ready to say push into production, or you are ready to say this project has come to an end. For you to even close a particular project, you need to also take that through your stakeholders, right? Your entire team, to say we plan X, Y, Z for the next 3 months. We're about to close a project, right? And this is what we delivered at the end of 3 months. It's more like check-ins, right? It's more like a checklist. We planned X, Y, Z. Did we complete X, Y, Z? We completed it. Was it, good enough? How was the quality? Did we meet quality standards? This is where, it comes into place also. So also as a project manager, there are some soft skills that you need to have to excel, in this, your responsibility that you're going to be doing every day. One is leadership. One soft skill is leadership. You have to have like a very strong leadership skill, because your team members, you need to, inspire them, and you need to guide them as a project manager. Like we said, you are the eye of your project. So your team members are looking at you. Even if you may think you don't look, they're actually looking at you. So you need to inspire them, and you need to guide your team, right? One thing I used to tell, people is that as a project manager, your team members may be going through what do they call it, burnout, right? They might be going through maybe overload of work, right? Some of your team members can be going through personal things, and they're affecting your project. This is where leadership skills come into place, right? You have to be able to guide them. You might tell your team member to say, we need to build this specific feature, right, in a mobile app. Let's say, for example, sending voice notes that we have on WhatsApp. You need to build sending voice notes on, on maybe WhatsApp or the mobile app, right? People should be able to send in voice notes on the mobile app. And then your team member is building, for instance, building sending video call on the particular application. Once you notice that it's going off the radar, you need to bring him back to say, no, it's not video call we are building, it's a voice note. Because they might be doing 2001 things at the same time, right? And you need to always guide them. That's where this monitoring and controlling, comes into place. That's where you need to always control. You need to always monitor. I know, so you should not be controlling your team members. So you don't need to control them. That's why you need to, monitor them, right? That's why you need to say, okay, instead of you going this way, go this way, right? So that's where leadership skills come into place. Another one is emotional intelligence. You have to be very, how am I going to put it now? You have to be very soft with your team members, right? You have to be very vigilant about them, because you're working with human beings, not robots, right? You need to understand each and every of your team member, each and everybody working with you. Everybody is not the same. The way I work is different from the way somebody else is going to work, right? And that's where team dynamic, come into place. So you need to understand each and every of your team member. There is a team member that that once you give him 5 tasks, he will complete that 5 tasks. There are some team members that once you give them 5 tasks, if you don't pursue that team member to complete that task, even one you will not see. There are some team members that you don't even need to call them. They will just tell you, this is done. So you need to understand each and every of your team member. That's the way you will follow them up, right? There's some team member that you have to guide them, right? You have to be on top of them. You have to be a step ahead of them, so that before they reach there, you already know how to guide them, right? There's some team members that they just like to talk. Maybe you're in a meeting and they just immediately you tell them to talk. In the next 10 minutes, they're just going. They're just talking, right? And it's going off the radar of the particular meeting. You need to be able to guide them. There are some team members that what do they call it now? They are very dominant. So they like to be heard, they like to be listened to. You literally need to know each and every of your team member. That's where emotional intelligence comes into place. So with knowledge of that, your team member, you're able to understand each of them, and then you're able to bring all of them together to work, right, for a particular project. Because trust me, there is always going to be conflict. There is always going to be clash within your team member. So that's where you come into place as a project manager to break that conflict within the team, to make sure that that conflict does not go personal and does not affect the work. Another thing is, as a soft skill, is adaptability, right? As a project manager is is very key, because navigating changes and risks or sensitivities are something that you will go through every day in your project. So this always affects project managers that are in the agile space, right? Or probably the tech space, right? So I think healthcare too, especially the tech space, because in construction, people, you want to build a duplex and you just go in there and build your duplex and that's it. But in the tech space, changes happen every day, every second. Something is always changing. The market is always changing. Your stakeholders have said they want to meet up, with a particular market trend, right? So before COVID, right, this history of AI was not there. Now AI is there. Every company wants to make sure that there is AI related to any of their projects, or they are building one project that is related to AI, because they want to be in that particular market trend. And even in the software tool, right, that is being used, it changes every day. Your developer can, be coding with a particular stack, and that particular stack, it has been updated. It needs to probably update the entire code base again for you to meet up, with that particular stack that has been updated. So changes is something that happens every day in a project, right? So you is going to come to you first as a project manager. That's where adaptability comes into place. When it comes to you first as a project manager, how do you now communicate this change to your team members? Because for me, right, once I get a particular change as a project manager, first thing I do is I first of all take it in. There's some changes that when it comes to you, it will first slap you first. You first sit down, first drink water before you even want to talk to somebody. Because imagine your developer has finished that task, they are done. Then you now come back and say, no, the business has changed their mind. We're not, we don't need, you'll be stammering, you don't need to go here, we now need to move left. So there are some changes that they'll just bring to you first, and you just need to just sit down, all right, and accept those changes based on the market trend, based on the business value that's coming in, and be able to communicate with your team members. This is where it comes into place. Communication is very key. How do you not going to tell a team member to say that what you're doing yesterday, or what you have completed, right? We don't need it again. We're now moving it into this direction. So that's one soft skill that every project manager needs to have. Okay, now we are going to get started into project management. Now we have understood what project management is about, the soft skills that we need to have, the core responsibilities as a project manager. Now you want to start, for instance, people that picked I think 3, right? That wants to get into project management. This is your first step of getting into project management. What are the things that you need to have? Or people that are transitioning into project management. You have transferable skills. Communication. See, you can never leave communication from project management. You see, communication is number one. If you don't know how to communicate, you don't know how to pass information, right? It's a very key thing. So now you have transferable skill, communication, right? Now you also have organization, which is the planning that we spoke about. You also have problem solving. I believe everybody can solve problem here. You find solutions, like we spoke about. A change in your project just came to you and hit you as a project manager. How do you find solutions to the challenges that your team members are going to face? You need to find solution for them, because as I when you told them, they are very devastated. You need to put them up together again, right? And find solution to them. Organization, how do you manage timelines, resources, tasks? Like I said, everybody's a project manager. You have a timeline. How do you manage time and timelines? Even if you are doing another field entirely right now, there is always a timeline for you to meet, right? As whatever role you are doing currently. How do you make sure that you manage your timelines? Probably you create a to-do list, or probably you have one tool that you used to have, create your own tasks, right? Just give an example. Maybe you have your own to-do list, you have a tab where you create your tasks, your daily tasks. That's organization. That's project management, right? So these are skills that you can transfer into transitioning into project management. Then you also have problem solving. People that know how to solve problems. I believe everybody knows how to solve problems. You know how to solve challenging problems. You know how to think very fast as a project manager, right? You know how to communicate. These are very transferable skills that you can move into whatever role you are doing today and move into project management, right? What tools do we use in terms of project management? There are several tools that we use in terms of project. These are just few tools I listed here. Maybe the common ones. We have Trello, we have Jira, we have MS Project, we have Asana, we have Monday, we have ClickUp, right? There are a lot of project management tools. We have Confluence. There are a lot of project management tools today. The common ones are Jira, Confluence. A lot of companies use Jira, right? A lot of big enterprises use Jira or MS Project. MS Project is by Microsoft. So companies that have Microsoft attached to them, they just use that, right? So, but one thing is, once you learn one of these two, either Jira or MS Project, you can actually use any of the other project management to be very honest with you, because it's the same way you're going to be using to create tasks. These tools are basically used for you to manage your project. For Jira, for example, Jira is used to create different tasks, right? To say, okay, um, because Jira, you can use it for project management. Then you can also use it for, there's another one, like when you're creating whether products, you can also use it for software development, right? But in terms of related to project management, it's used to actually create different tasks for each of your team members to say, oh, in 1 month, you put a timeline, there's date and time, put it there 1 month. These are things we're going to do in 1 month, right? So if you focus on learning Jira, you can use YouTube to even learn Jira. You don't need to, you know, pay anybody to learn Jira. You can go to YouTube at Lancer and you see them, they'll teach you how to use Jira. Once you learn how to use Jira, you can easily use any of these two in project management. That's just the truth. In terms of certifications that you probably need to have as a project manager, these are like the common ones. We have CAB, CAPM. This from PMI, right? This is like an associate project management role. These are for people, it's ideally for beginners, right? We also have PMP. This is like the best known or the most recognized, project management certification, and it can, take you anywhere in the world. Literally, can take you anywhere in the world. People that like to chapa, PMP is for you, right? You have Scrum Master certification. You can use Scrum Alliance or Scrum.org, right, to get your certification. There are also free courses, probably because you pay for this one. So this CAPM, PMP, Scrum Master, you definitely pay for them. So free courses, maybe you want to, understand the foundation of project management. You have free courses like Google Project Management from Coursera. You have PMI, Kickoff. You have Simply Learn. These are just basically different courses that you can take. You can even go to YouTube and learn project management, right? And once you're able to learn project management, you can take either the PMP certificate or the CAPM certificate and a Scrum Master certificate, and you're good to go as a project manager, right? Because certification is very key in this project management field. It's very, very key. As much as you're showcasing your work, they will still need to know that you have certificate and are certified as a project manager. Your first step of gaining experience as a project manager, you can volunteer, in any whether small projects, or you can even start maybe one of your community or your church and just take one role and be leading a certain group of people to meet a specific goal. You can start with that. You can shadow another project manager, right? Probably a project manager that is working somewhere. You can shadow and be learning from the project manager. You can take up internships or entry level roles, right? To focus on project management. Maybe project, some people name them project coordinators, right? To start as a project manager. These are different experiences that you can start with, as a project manager. So one thing I usually tell people, misconception that we have is PMs, you must not be technical, you must not be highly technical. And the only thing that you need to understand, right, is understanding people. People's skills is very, very key. You don't need to know all the technical jargons and all the technical details of a project. As far as you know how to plan, you know how to organize, you understand people very well, emotional intelligence, you know how to work with people very well, right? You are good to go. Being technical is not your first goal as a project manager. As you go in the field, trust me, you will start knowing all these technical things. But as the beginning, it's not something that you should actually like look out for, right? So now the next slide we're going to is building a career in project management, right? So now we have known our responsibilities. We have known what they call it as key skills that we need to have. We understand the tools that we need to have. We understand the certifications that we need to get. We have taken those courses. We have learned a lot of things. Now it's for us to build our career as a project manager, right? How do we intend to build our career as a project manager? How do we intend to even get our first job as a project manager, right? The first thing first that I actually put down here is like a growth mindset, which is very key. right? You have to you have to understand the trends of any industry or any career you are going into. If you don't have a developing growth mindset, you want to be static. ah, You cannot grow. You'll just be there because people that you felt that they just started, they'll in less than 3 months, they'll just learn the trends and they'll pass you in terms of career, right? So you need to have a developing, growth mindset. Another one is the leveraging LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, very key, right? LinkedIn is one of the professional tools that you can easily showcase your profile. You can showcase whatever you have worked on, right? Even your profile alone, even leave posting or um, engaging on LinkedIn. Your profile alone on LinkedIn can sell you. It's either it can give you, it can sell you literally. The headline that you put in your on your what do you call it on your LinkedIn, right? It's not you to go and put plenty story. They're like SEOs that you need to put in place on your headline. For instance, you can put project management, right? You can put project management, you can put scrum master. These are key things. When people search for project management, they'll see your profile there as a project manager, right? So your profile, your headshot, things that you use, like the picture you're going to use for your profile picture, your background. Me on my profile, my background is just products. Once you see my background, you'll know what I'm doing, and no need to talk too much, right? So what you have to optimize your profile on LinkedIn, right? As much as you have done that, optimizing your profile on LinkedIn, and make sure that your LinkedIn is looking clean. All your certifications, you put them on LinkedIn. Where you have worked before, you put them on LinkedIn. Your responsibilities, once you put a job, obviously, don't show you like where you're going to put your responsibilities. You put them there, what the particular tasks you performed or the particular goals you met in that particular company. You put them on LinkedIn, right? Another one now goes into showcasing, key projects or skills, right? People that like to post, people that like to comment, right? Showcase your work. If you really, really know how to showcase your work, please and please showcase your work. Even if it's as little as anything, you can post it, right? Even if people don't like it, don't worry. There is definitely somebody that's all that you post. Just post it, right? If you really, really know how to post and do all these social media things, please just use it. It's very key. Showcase your project, showcase your skills. You did a course today, post it. I just finished this course. People will like it, and people will see that, oh, you're actually growing, right? And you're actually improving, your skills. Another one is, finding mentors. In this life, you cannot work alone. So you need somebody. You need to build relationships with experienced project managers, right? You need to Where can you find them? You can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them in maybe different communities. That you can join, right? Most specifically, if you're not even in a community, you can actually find them on LinkedIn, right? And you can send cold emails to them, people that you look up to. You can also send them, cold emails to tell them, oh, you're transitioning into project management, and you want to build your skill in terms of project management, and you like them to be your mentor and things like that. And people might just say yes to you. If you message like five experienced project manager, one of them will say yes to you. So you build relationships with them. They'll show you the way, they'll guide you. And another thing about the mentor is you don't just say you are found in a mentor. I know some persons that have reached out to me, and I have to literally push them to move from step A to step B. People are very busy. Even you that is looking for mentor, you are busy, right? Literally, people are doing things, personal things, for their life. And then you now get a mentor, you now get someone that is going to mentor you. And you expect the person to be calling you and be messaging you. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to show the person that you are serious. You have to build relationship with the person. You have to always follow up with the person. You have to always have check-ins, tell them, oh, can we have a check-in today? Can we schedule check-ins, maybe once a month, or bi-weekly. Just show interest, just little push to show interest. And the mentor that you're having, right? You say, oh, this person is serious, and take it seriously. Not that you have a mentor. The mentor is the one calling you. The mentor is the one asking you, have you read this book I sent to you? The mentor is the one check in less than 2 weeks, they will leave you and focus on the next person that is serious. So that's basically it. Another one is joining communities, which I've said before. Join a lot of communities that you can find. LinkedIn is there. There are some what do you call communities on Slack, Discord groups that you can literally join, even WhatsApp. I'm on a lot of communities on WhatsApp now. WhatsApp is the key channel that people are using to communicate. Another one definitely is continuous learning. Enroll in a lot of courses that you can have, right? As a project manager, if you give this project management 3 months, that's 3 months. If you focus 3 months in project management, trust me, in the next 3 months, you can start applying for jobs. You can start what you call it, you can start transitioning. If you give yourself 3 months, you can, because it's not like you're learning code or something. These are just soft skills that you're learning. So once you take these courses, you read a lot of books, right? You can read a lot of leadership books, you can read a lot of soft skill books, right? You can read a lot of project management books, and you can also attend webinars like this, right? For you to learn project management. Then now, these are cool. Let's land our first gig, right, as a project manager, right? Now we have gone through each of these responsibilities. You have taken your courses. You have learned. We have given a timeline of 3 months. 3 months is literally the shortest or the longest timeline you need to have if you are transitioning to project management, right? Once you are done with all of this, first thing is for us to start with our resume, right? As much as we have sold ourselves on LinkedIn, LinkedIn also says as resume sometimes, but at the same time, you also have to apply with your resume, right? You have to tailor your resume to highlight, transferable skills. Like we talked about in like 2 slides ago, communication, planning, creating of tasks, right? These are transferable skills that you can put into your resume, right? Accomplishments that you have made in your goal in any of your projects. These are things that you can add on your resume, right? You can also use, maybe quantify or metrics, right? Oh, I gave an example here. I coordinated a team of 5 people to deliver projects in so and so weeks, and we met our timeline, right? These are skills that you can put on your resume, right? Your resume is the first thing anybody sees before they even say they want to know who Nata is, right? Or if they want to know who John is. The resume is the first thing any HR or any company is going to see. Another one is networking, right? You have to reach out to people on LinkedIn. You have to attend conference. You have to network. You have to do the work. You have to attend webinars, right? Reach out to people on LinkedIn, send them messages, right? Connect with people. I usually tell people, connect with people that matter, right? LinkedIn is not your Instagram or your TikTok or your Snapchat, right? TikTok now, people even connect mostly even closely on TikTok. But where I'm going to is not really your social media platform, if I put it that way, to differentiate it. This is your career. LinkedIn is your career. People you connect there should be people that matter in your industry, people that matter in your career, people that you see, right? That, oh, I look up to this person. Oh, I like this person's content. Those are the kind of people you should follow on LinkedIn. People that will show you road. For example, their post alone will give you information. Their post alone will direct you on the next phase, of your career. So those are the kind of people that you should follow on LinkedIn, right? Attend a lot of webinars, a lot of conferences, network with a lot of people, send messages to people on LinkedIn and say, oh, thank you for connecting with me. Just drop a very cold message to them. You see an HR post a job on LinkedIn, as much as you have applied, on that easy apply. You will also see there, this person is the one that posted this job. Connect with the person on LinkedIn, send the person message on LinkedIn, and tell the person that you applied for a project management role. You have how many years of experience, you have done so and so projects, right? Just a brief introduction about yourself. And if you can schedule, a quick coffee chat to them to discuss more about your experience. Most of the time, some might respond to you, some might not respond to you, right? Another way is, as much as you are also in terms of LinkedIn to get your first gig, there is a filter that you can have on LinkedIn. If you go on your LinkedIn and you go to jobs, right, you can put in the search word project management, right? Your location, you can also select the location that you
Hello?
want.
Okay.
Hello. Okay, sorry. So you can also, okay. If you are not, can you mute your mic so that
Okay, yes.
thank thank you. Okay, so you can also go on LinkedIn, search for the job title rather, project management, put in your location, Lagos, Abuja, wherever you are. If it's remote job, put it there that it's remote that you're looking for, and then schedule it to be sending you alerts via your email. And once you get that email, you quickly go in and apply. Right, always make sure that your resume is always updated. Any little project or any project that you have done, always update your CV, right? Any certifications that you have done, always try to update your CV and always try to connect with people on LinkedIn. Then, secondly, is you have to prepare for interviews, right? Search for common questions on PM interviews. Can use YouTube. Now there's a lot of AI tools. Can use AI, ask it questions on that. You are preparing for a project management role in so and so company, and it's also just question and answers that you can be asked, right, in this particular room. Also copy the job um description on AI and tell it this is a job description, create question and answers that can possibly come out for this particular field. Another one is, starting small. I probably won't call this small, right? Freelancing is a very big cake, right? If you can start freelancing, is very good. People use a lot of Upwork, right? People use what is it called, Fiverr. There are a lot of freelancing jobs that are there today. Even on LinkedIn, you can get freelancing job. You can see contract roles of project management. Oh, I need a project manager for this project in the next 6 months, and that's it. You get your 6 months, you get paid for 6 months, and you move ahead to the next project. So freelancing is also like a very big deal in terms of project management. I think that should be it for me, right? So that's basically it that we have gone through. Like I said, I'm going to give time for a lot of questions. I'd like people to ask me a lot of questions. I hope you're able to gain much from what we have discussed today. And I think it's time for us to ask questions. I will probably stop sharing my screen so that I can see people's answer up. If you have questions, can raise up your hand. Okay, Peter. I think the first person is Peter. Then Gabriel, then or Ahmed, then Juliet. Okay, let's go. Peter, I can go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you. Good evening.
Thank you. The question I would like to ask is on the certification you mentioned earlier. Like someone that have a background in HR and you want to go for the master program in project management. What are the certification require, or what is the requirement for you to undergo the program, the master in project management?
Okay. All right. So for you to undergo are you going for masters in project management? And that's like a very big transition from HR to project management. And in that I believe in that particular master's course, right, they're going to teach you the entire curriculum of project management. And at the end of that particular master's, you probably have to write a PMP certification, right? Which is from PMI. So PMP is like the biggest, let me put it like that, right? Certification for a project manager. So as much as you have gotten your master's certification, another certificate I can add to it is the PMP. Because for you to write PMP, you need to have like certain experience. And since you are from HRO, HRSF, you haven't organized a lot of projects or a lot of events for employees like us, right? So you can put those transferable skills into your CV and put into your experience for you to apply for the project management certification. So PMP, project management certification, is very key. They also have another one, Agile project management, still from PMI, and you can also take the Scrum Master certification if you are going to tech, right? You can also take that one from Scrum Alliance or scrum.org. So those are like very key certifications that you can take.
Sorry, please. Yeah, I got the point clear, but those certificates you mentioned are to be taken after the master program, or you take them before you go for your master program in project management.
You take them. Our advice is take them after, right? Or probably when you're about to round off your master's degree in project management. Maybe you're already done with your exams, you're just rounding off, and just take the exam so that before you're done with your master's, you have your project management certificate, right? And then you can start applying for a lot of jobs. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Peter. Okay, Ahmed or Chapa. I don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I wanted to ask where if this recording will be available after the meeting. Hello?
Okay. Career leap. But I think that question should be good. I don't know if this was recorded.
Yes, it is. It's recorded. So we're going to be sharing it on the groups.
Okay, what of those that are not in the group?
We might actually, I don't know about that. We're sharing it to our community and maybe via mail. So maybe if you can let me know how you got the link, so I'll know how to reach out to you.
I was referred by a friend.
Is your friend in the Career Leap Academy?
Yeah.
Okay, then your friend should be able to share with you.
Okay.
All right, thank you very
Also,
much.
because this is my first time, so I don't know if this is like an organization that renders like career class service, or I really don't know what I saw the screenshots
Ahmed,
when
due to time, right? Ahmed, due to time, right? I specifically said that any question you are asking should be specific to the project management course. All right. So you may want to reach out to your friend, and your friend will connect you with a representative of Career Leap, so they can give you more insights into that. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
All right,
right,
please
thanks,
carry
Ahmed.
on.
Yeah. Juliet. Hi, Juliet.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Yes, I want to ask. I actually did education in school and I'm transiting into project management. I did a 3-month classroom training, which ended this week. And I need to do an internship, and I don't know how to go about that. And that's when I can be certified at the end of the internship.
Okay, if I get your question, you just finished like a course, right? 3 month course.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, what field are you at? What field are you currently? What are you doing currently?
I just finished project management training.
Okay, I thought you said you're transitioning. So that's what I was
Yes,
asking.
from education to, as an educator, to project management.
Oh, okay. I just
To a
finished like a
project
course,
manager.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then where does education come into place? Because I didn't get that your last question.
Yeah, we were not certified, so we're told that we have to go for internship. So at the end of the internship, that's when we can be certified based on the training we just did for 3 months.
Oh, okay.
And
So
I don't even know.
I believe the company is organizing the internship for you guys now, right?
Not really.
So how do you not get the certificates from them after your internship?
Yeah, they said they will connect to the company. So I don't even
After
know how
you
to
have
go
found
about
the company by yourself.
Yeah, after you have found it by yourself. So I don't even know how to go about it, getting or finding it.
All right, it's fine. No problem. I understand. So mm, okay. So what I'll just advise you is, I mean, for I don't know why they didn't give you certification, right? Of course, you are definitely looking for internship by yourself. I'm just going to be very realistic with you. Yeah, the one looking for internship. So why do they have to connect to your employee before they give you certification? So I think you should just pack that one aside first. You are done with the training for 3 months, right? They
Yeah.
did give you certification, that's fine and good, right? Now you want to transition or you want to start applying for internships. So one thing first is for us
Yeah,
to
they gave us a letter to use to apply. Why they will connect or like
oh, okay. Okay. So one thing I'll just advise you is to like leverage LinkedIn. I'll need you to like work maybe the skills that you have from education, right? Like I mentioned here that education is part of, industries that you can, even transition into in terms of project management. There are a lot of what do they call it? Even the course that you're taking, right? Or you're teaching I don't know, you're a teacher, right?
is that?
You're a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so even the course or the classes you are taking as a teacher is also project management. You plan for those courses, right? And you had your schedules to say you are going to teach from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. for this definite class. So those are like your schedules, right? And you also have like, okay, this class that you're going to take, these are things you are going to learn at the end of this term. These are, what's it called? That's like your project scope, right? So you can actually like transition those things using project management terminologies, right? And put them, relate them back to your CV, right? And put them like maybe instead of putting like you a teacher, right? You can easily just put project coordinator in that school, something like that. Do you get? So those skills that you have as a teacher, you can now relate them in terms of project management terminologies, right? And then put them under that your particular school, right? Then, like I said, you also have to join communities, right? Then also, you also need to leverage LinkedIn, right? You need to build your LinkedIn profile, right? Then the course that you have taken, even if you don't have certificates, you can post about it and say, oh, I just finished a 3 month course in project management. And you can post about what you have learned, right, for those 3 months. So you can be posting like maybe once a week, right? Or once every 2 weeks, that kind of thing. Then also on your LinkedIn, right? Let me probably, I don't want to take too much time so that I can take other people's questions. Let me use this. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, it's not coming up. I wanted to show you something. Okay. Yeah, let me just share my screen. Let me quickly show what I'm saying. you see my screen? So when you come into LinkedIn, right, this is what I was talking about. You can come into jobs. You see jobs here, right? When you click on jobs, it shows you a title, skill, or company. So you can put in there project management, for instance, right? And then I already selected location Nigeria. Can you see? So with this, right, you can see alert is on. Dangote still dey find money. So you see, alert is on, right? You can see a lot of jobs that they're up to see in different roles that there. You can also maybe put maybe project coordinator or something, right? You can set like two to three LinkedIn alerts, right, on your particular on your LinkedIn profile. And then you can also put internship. Maybe you can also put like intern and project management intern, right? Those are like keywords that people used to, post. And then you set job alerts. You can also use Google for this. You can also use Indeed. You can also use Glassdoor, right, to get each of these jobs. So once you set alerts, right, as a project in terms of using Glassdoor, LinkedIn, or Indeed, you transfer those your skills from education. You can change your title from teacher to project coordinator, right? Transfer your skills in terms of the project management terminologies, right? And then put them into that particular role and then start applying for jobs. Then start connecting with people, right? Start joining committees, start attending events, right? Getting to know other people that are in your field. And that's the best way that I can go about it. Then before you can, probably start getting, because these certifications are quite expensive though, I must say. So before you can, start, taking certifications. Juliet, I hope that's fine.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Gail Brett, let's quickly go.
Okay, thank you very much for the training. I must say that it was really a very, very productive one. And I'm glad that I joined the session. I have quite a number of questions. I don't know if I'll take it one after the other, or I should just list them out and we'll take them bullets by bullets.
Yeah, you can take them one after the other.
Okay, let me start with one. What's the difference between a project manager or coordinator and a facility manager or an administrator in an organization, especially in the Nigerian context? Because it seems like these rules are, they are clashing in organizations.
Oh, really? Okay. So yeah, I get okay. I think most of the time I don't really see administrator clashing with project management. It's usually product management that usually clashes, right? So for a project manager, they basically handle the projects in that particular given organization, right? So I'm in the space of tech, for example. So they basically handle like any projects that is probably related to software development, right? A particular project for infrastructure or a particular project for operations, right? So those are kind of deliveries that they handle. And a project management has every project has like a start and an end date, right? Apart from if you are doing agile project management, right? Like Scrum, things like that. So that one is obviously iteration. So that one goes beyond a start and an end date. But if it's a typical project management project, it has a start and an end date. For administrators, based on the companies I've worked for, they are basically the ones running the affairs of the organization, right? Not the project of the organization. They are running the affairs of to make sure that the organization is intact, right? To make sure that maybe all these facility people, right? People that maybe the senior management, they have things they are meant to have, right? People that are meant, they're basically just keeping checks of, every, maybe in the academic, or they call them non-academic staff or something, making sure that they are actually doing exactly what they are meant to. So their job is just making sure that the affairs of the organization are working properly, or they are moving as they're expected to move. So that's basically what I feel, administrators do. Why project managers actually do like the projects the company are actually trying to achieve at the end of the goal. But the administrators are just the one making sure that the affairs of the company are moving in circles, right? If you're an administrator currently in your organization, that's also fine. You can also switch from administrator to project management, because you're also keeping affairs and you're also planning to make sure that things are moving gradually, or they are moving in place in the organization. Gilbert, do you have another question? Hi. Am I audible?
You're audible.
Okay. I don't think you can hear. I don't know if Gilbert heard me. No, just need to realize that.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can now. Did you hear what I
Okay,
said?
so yeah, I heard all that you said, and I think is valid. I'm asking these questions particularly because I'm transitioning from administration into project management, and I submitted, is my CV to a company that is affiliated with NGOs. And when I gave a breakdown of the jobs that I do, it was asking me like, okay, I've not done a project, and I was like, I don't really understand what he's saying. I've done projects, like, for instance, installation from the beginning of building an ATM kiosk down to the time of the finishing and handing over that ATM kiosk, to the users. I feel that's like a project, but that was from the perspective of administration. So I had to call someone who has worked with an NGO, and then, to begin to get a breakdown of what their own definition of project is. That's why I'm asking this question. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So the thing is, the industry, like for instance, you're an administrator, and the project I talked about is actually a very big project, right? And the industry you're moving into, for example, right? Because this is like tally with this, you need to be able to tally your skills to that particular industry. I don't know if any HR is on this call, but if you are here, I'm sorry. You need to I don't know if I should need to lie or something, right? But you need to tally your experience. I'm just being realistic. You need to tally your experience to that particular industry you're moving into, right? So I think what you said is about is it moving drugs, or what did you just say? I don't know if I heard that.
That is installation of an ATM kiosk, like a galaxy, building from the beginning to the end, connecting all the networks, electricity, everything, making it function.
That one is a big project too. So basically, yeah. So you actually need to future that particular project, how you planned it, the scope and everything, and move it into that particular industry. So you need to know maybe the key terminologies in that industry you're moving into. So like you said, maybe it's NGO you're moving into, right? So you need to know the terminologies that they use there in project management, right? So me now I'm in tech. There's some keywords that I use, right? I've worked with cross-functional team. I've worked with software development team, right? Things like that. So you can actually key those things into the NGO keywords, right? That they use, right? And then tailor what you have done into that particular thing, because you actually have experience as a project manager, because you have done it from start to finish. So you need to understand that industry you are going into first, right? If you are going to say, okay, you're transitioning, you need to know what industry you're transitioning into, and then understand that industry, right? And then use those terminologies in your own CV, right? And also, take courses on one or two related to that particular industry, so that when they ask you questions during your interview, you're able to respond and you're able to give examples to maybe your project. You're talking about your project, so you're talking about a different thing in that particular industry. I don't know if you understand where I'm going to. So you just need to understand the industry you are going into, so you can tailor it to their keywords.
Okay. So finally, just to get a clearer picture in the Nigerian context, you're not looking at maybe overseas, because I've read a lot about overseas where they value a lot of project managers, especially as in regards to reducing cost within the organization. The first question now is, does a project manager have anything to do with the financing of the project? That's one. Two, in the Nigerian context, do people who just transition into project management, who are not architects, engineers, into building or any foundational BSc degree course or business administration, do they stand a chance to contest with people who have this background from the beginning? So these are my two final questions.
Yeah, so I'll start with that, your last question. So it's quite challenging, to be honest. But one thing I said just now is you need to first of all even know the industry you are going to compete with, right? Or you are transitioning into. So if you are coming from, you don't need to have BSc project management or business administration or anything to even move to project management. Even these old project management we're talking about, it started off from construction people. It started off from Coca-Cola them, right? So it started off with them Toyota people them. So you can actually move from that, because the foundation of this project management that we're all shouting about, it started from waterfall, which started from construction, right? So if you are going to move into construction to, let's say, health care or stuff, for example, now you need to understand the health, because construction and healthcare, they're two separate words apart. So you need to understand the industry that you are going into. One thing first is, if you are going to move from construction to healthcare, or construction to tech, or construction to any education, you need to understand that industry that you are moving into first. Because if you don't understand that industry, you can just take a very foundational course related to it. Or you can just watch a YouTube video related to it, right? For example, as a project manager in healthcare, what do they do, right? You can search that on your YouTube bar. Project managers in healthcare, what are their day-to-day activities, right? Project managers in education, what do they do, right? You can search that on YouTube. Once you're able to watch 2 to 3 videos about that, they'll be able to tell you, okay, take this other course, take this course, take this. They'll direct you where to go next. And once you take those particular courses, then you cannot take your own skills that you have from construction and then tailor it, I'll use the word tailor it to, what do they call it, the healthcare or the education, right? And then when you're going for interviews, you basically don't need to say, you probably worked in construction, because that's already to say, this person does not have skills in healthcare, right? You can just tailor it to say, maybe you have a neighbor or a family friend that owns a pharmacy. You can just tailor it to say, you work in this particular pharmacy. It's related to healthcare. You worked in this pharmacy, and these were the things that you did in terms of pharmacy, based on, because that immediately you get that job, you can always, wear that hat of a project manager and, get things done, because you definitely keep growing in project management field, right? So you just need to know the industry you are going into next.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if
The
I'm
last-
done.
Yeah, you've done justice to it. So the last one, does the project manager get involved with financial budget?
Okay, financial, yes, they do. That's costing and budgeting.
Yes.
They do. Yes, they do. It's part of it. They do a lot. They're going to costing. Some big industries have project managers for just that, costing and budgeting. Why a lot of other projects, you need to, create your own, you need to create the budget of that particular project you're working on. and then make sure you're tracking the projects as you're going on with your timeline. So yeah, those are part of the constraints in project management. Budgeting is also part of it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. All right, Chooks.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
I really want to appreciate the lecture. Very nice. Thank you. Some of the questions I wanted to ask been answered. Let me just I'm moving. I want to do a master's degree in project management, but my BSc program, my basic course is sugar pharmacology.
Your
I
BSc
don't
course
know
is what?
how.
Okay.
Pharmacology. So I don't know. I need a guide on how to navigate. Though the project management course, they are already been admitted to project management, and also in IT.
Mm. Okay. So if I hear you correctly, you apply for masters in project management, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's a very good step for you to take. Like I think we did the first speaker second to also apply for masters in project management. I want to believe that the curriculum, I know a lot of masters project management that covers everything I need to know about project management from start to end, right? And it's going to even be like a very big stepping stone for you because once you're done with that particular masters, right? You take your certifications, like I told the other person, maybe before you're wrapping up your masters, and then you can start applying for jobs. Because I'm very sure most master courses in project management, they teach in depth of project management. They even do like live scenarios, right? As for project management, right? Do like use cases as project management, live scenarios during the course, right? They take so masters is like a very good fit for you to go into. So it will be very once you are done with the masters and you have done those use because those use cases that you do in your masters, you highlight them as the projects that you have done as a project manager, right? And you highlight them in your CV, right? In your LinkedIn, you can also post about it. If you even take like a course and you did like a mini project, right? You can post about it also, and then you can talk about it that these were things you did as a project manager. You can go about it, even if you have like 5-10 years about your previous role. You can switch your 10 years down to project management to say that for the past 10 years you have been working as a project manager, and you talk about the projects that you have done.
Okay. So even now that I'm a deep in software education, I can still use it even after the masters.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Chooks. Okay. Next person is okay, Favor. Then Irene Nose. Okay, Favor. So
Good evening.
hi, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. Please, I wanted to ask, you from the information I got, it was stated that after this training, we are going to have one-on-one mentorship on how to get a job and all that. So I was saying, getting a job, wouldn't it require someone that has prior experience before you can actually get a job? And are we going to have certification? And you talked about certifications like PMP and one other one. Is it this certification? Can someone that doesn't have any knowledge about project management go for the certification, or is for someone that is already a project manager? Yes. That's
Okay,
what I
let
want.
me answer this question. Let me answer this question. So project management is not part of the course we are actually doing for the 3 months to 4 months on boot camp. So it's not part of it, right? The only courses we are focused on is cybersecurity, product design, product management. You know that are two different things. Project management is different from product, right? So we're not focused on project management. So project management is actually out of it. All right. So thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Come again, sir. I want to get that explanation, please.
Okay. So what she asked was we had a workshop I think last week where we had a sessions on different tech skills, right? So she's asking if project management is part of it, and if of course it's part of it, she actually get a job, and what is the rationale behind getting a job when you don't have that? Project management, project management is not part of the course we are offering for our 4 months boot camp. Right. So to know more about the 4 months boot camp, you can reach out to any of our admin in our community, and they're going to explain more about that to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. I think the last person is Irene Nose. Or Irene Nose. Can you go ahead?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Even if you cannot pronounce my name very well, I will see at the answer the first. Because you're actually from the same place with me. I'm surprised you cannot pronounce that. Yes.
Well, no problem. Go ahead.
It is all right.
Your line is breaking.
Early December. Up till now, I have not given an issue.
Hi. Your line was breaking. I couldn't hear you. Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Let's go ahead.
All right.
Yes.
I said I actually applied for MSc in project management early last month. That is early December. Up till now, they have not given me admission. So I'm thinking, should I reapply to another school or I should still hold on? I actually use Career Leap for this admission. Hello?
Okay. Career Leap. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So what do you suggest? Should I reapply to other school or I should hold on?
Career Leap.
Sorry, can you come again with your question? Please come again with your question.
Okay.
Come again with your question.
All right. I actually applied for MSc in project management through Career Leap early December. Up till now, I have not been given admission. So what do you suggest I do? I should reapply to other school or I should hold on?
Okay, your question is you apply for project management and you haven't been given admission.
Yes.
And if you should apply to, what I will answer to that is that every school has the time they give admission to their candidates. So you have to be patient with them. Some school takes a month, some takes 2 months, some a week. So it depends on your school. So you can also follow up your school to see updates about your application. But you can also have other application. You don't want to just cast your net into one basket, right? You might decide to want to apply to more schools while waiting for that particular one to make their decision. So the question here is, or the answer to your question is for you to be patient with the school. All right. So that is just it. Now there's a particular question I missed when Favor was asking a question. Right. So for starters, you don't actually need like a certification to start your journey in project management or learn project management. right? When I started my project management journey, I actually worked in an organization as a project manager. So I never had like a PMP certification then, right? But I was able to excel in that particular field because, of course, I was able to gain experience. I was able to like work on several projects and what have you. And I learned from some institutions that are not PMP, right? But that gave me leverage. So favor, that's what you actually want to do as a starters, because you going for project management and PMP is actually as for starting is actually very cool, but at the same time it's quite expensive, but it's something you want to also invest in, you know. But if you are starting your journey as a project or you are transitioning into a project, you want to learn some of those basics that will actually give you the buying power to actually work in some startup or some organizations, you know. So for our project management training, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we are not, it's not part of the course or major course we are actually projecting, but of course, it's something we're going to be doing in because the current course is starting soon. But we are starting our project management training in March, right? In March. So you should just keep your eyes open on that. But you can also join our product management training as well. So just reach out to our representative or on the admin on this community and give you more insights as regard that. And I believe Anita wants to share more light on her background when it comes to how she started, probably so that they won't feel like, oh, you must have PMP certification before you actually start anything project management, you know. So that's just it. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. That's, I mean, you have answered it. Okay. I think there are two other people here. Uluwa Belumi.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you so much for the class. It was so insightful. So I wanted to ask, is there a way we can, or let me say, how do we eventually like join a community of project managers? Like, is there a criteria? What do we have to look out for? Or do you have like a recommended community that you could just give us to, you know, maybe a link or something to register? Thank you.
All right. There's no criteria basically though to join any community, right? Most of them are very open to you, right? Some they post it on, I believe, I don't know, Career Leap, right? They have like a channel also, so you can also like reach out to them, which is also a community that are here today. Then you can also find some on Twitter, you can find some on LinkedIn, right? As much as you're going through, you can always find them on social media, even on TikTok or WhatsApp. They're usually there. You don't need any criteria to join any community at all. You don't need to pay any money to join any community. It's just there are a lot of free communities that you can join. Career Leap is one of them, so you can reach out to them. Hi, Ashley.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me, please.
Yes, I can hear you. I
Okay,
can
sorry
hear you.
about my voice. Yeah. So I want
No
to ask
problem.
about the certification. Now, this program we're about to go in, I heard God this in March, but I saw February on the platform. But that's aside. Now, when we are about beginning the training or in the training fully and we are done, are we going to be given a certificate? That's one. Then secondly, we talked about is it the PMP and other higher certification. Now, if we are done as beginners for this project management course, are we to purchase that one? Is it advisable to purchase it or not? And what's the fee like, the range? So that aside, I have another one. Your slide,
Okay, sorry,
maybe
Ashley,
slide
let me answer
18.
let me answer
What was that for?
your question, because that one is particular to us at Career Leap. So, like I mentioned earlier, our other course is starting in February, but this specific one, project management, is starting in March. All right. Now, we are not PMP that gives like a robust certification. Okay. But of course, certification we're going to be giving is something that shows that, of course, you've gone through this particular phase in project management, right? And also, once you're done, right, you get internship opportunities, and you also get capstone project that you can actually, because one of the things I see most people that are looking at transitioning into project management is the experience. They don't have the experience. And this capstone project and internship opportunities will basically give you that level of industry experience that you can actually use to apply for more opportunities or more jobs, you know. And for those that are looking at saying, oh, they want to get a master's abroad, so you having an idea of project management and how it works, and you want to add that as your an add-on to your CV when applying to these schools, right? And when you even get to that school, of course, considering the fact that you understand the basics, it's going to be much more easier for you to blend in that institution, you know. So based on the charges for that, please just reach out to any of our admin, and they're going to like give you updates as regarding that. So that's it for the slide. I believe Elsa is going to
Yes,
share it
slide
with us.
8.
All right.
Yeah, please. Slide 8, where she mentioned some books to be read. I think I just screenshot that part. So that's the part I want. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ashley. I think everybody's question has been answered, right? Just to wrap this up, because I think everybody has been asking certification, and Career Leap has done justice to that. One thing for sure, just give, I think we still have a few minutes. So I'll just give about my background on how I started as, you know, a project manager, right? For me, I didn't have certification. I did not have PMP or what even Career Leap certification that you guys are talking about here. So how I started was after school, I knew that okay, I wanted to go into the tech space, right? And then I researched on, you know, different skills or different career in the tech space, and I found project management because I was doing data analytics before I switched, and I noticed that, you know, project management was drawing towards my kind of person and the kind of things that I would like to do. And that's how I started off as a project manager, right? Because I was doing data analytics, which is also in the tech space in my previous company. And then they were looking for project managers then. And then I applied for, that was internal, right? That's another way for you to get a role internally. And then I applied internally based on I was working with them before and giving my capabilities, right? I was able to, you know, get that particular role. My first project as a project manager, I basically knew literally not up to even 30%, right, of how the nuts of software development works, right? I just knew, you know, basic things about, you know, the different rules of of a software team and what they're expected to do, or how to build like a software, you know, and people start using it. I basically did not know about that when I started because I was like just not even up to 1 year of experience, right? And that's basically how I started my journey. You need, as a project manager, it's not certificate that takes you to where you are going to go to. It's actually your experience. It's actually the amount of work that you put into any of the projects that you're going to be working on. So project management is more of showcase your work. What projects have you worked on before? What were the challenges you faced while you were working on that project? What are the kind of conflict resolution that you resolved while you're working on those projects? So those were kind of the journeys I took into place, right? Like I said, your life is also a project. I created my own, you know, projects in my own life, and I said, okay, give or take by the next 2 years or 1 year, because this education that I'm talking about is very, very expensive, I must say. It's not maybe you have money that is sitting somewhere and you want to go and use it, right? So I had to plan to say, okay, since these are the experiences I have, you need to build the experience safe for you to even write PMP, because you need that experience for you to write that particular exam. So one thing I want us to focus on here today is just try to build on your experience first. Focus on your experience. Focus on getting those skill sets. Focus on, taking those boot camps. Career Leap said, I think it's starting in March or April, as they mentioned, for project management. Focus on taking those courses. Try to understand each of the phases that you need to go in as a project manager. Do those capstone projects that you're going to take in, because those are the capstone projects that you need to put into your own experience to say that you have worked on this particular project, and then you can start applying for jobs, right? Because it's what people see, right? That's what they're going to use to judge you and say she can do the work or he can do the work. If they don't see what you have done before, they will believe that you cannot do it, and they'll definitely not give you the job. So capstone projects like this are things that you can use to boost your application, right? As a first-time project manager or someone transitioning into project management, and apply for those jobs. Someone that's been in the space before, obviously you have like projects that you have worked on before, and then you can showcase those your work, and you can say, I've done this project, and you can apply. But I really want us to remove our mind from certification, and actually focus more on gaining experience, gaining insight into project management, doing the work as a project manager. When you guys start your capstone projects, understanding each of the phases of a project manager or each of the life cycle of project management. So that's basically what you need to do first. And then you can now start thinking about, certification on any other thing. Those are add-on, let me use that word. These are add-on for you as a project manager, right? But first thing first is for you to gain experience, know how to use your project management tool, because that's a very key thing that you need to know how to communicate properly, build your leadership skills, right? Build your, adaptability skills, build your emotional intelligence skills, build a lot of your software skills, because you're going to be working with a lot of people, and it's a very visible role because you are going to be seen. You are the eye of the project, so you are basically going to be seen in any company. Like there's camera and touchlight on your face, if that's the word I'm going to use. So definitely you need to just understand what project management is first. That's when I will even advise you that, okay, when you are done understanding this and you have done 1 or 2 projects, before you can say you want to go and write a certification in project management. That's just an add-on if you want to boost, your career after maybe 1 year or 2 years, and you want to move to the next level. Then yes, you can add certification to it. But if you have just started, all you just need to do now is to be taking courses, be learning, understanding it, and building your skills related to project management. So I think that's all from my end, and I don't think there are any more questions. Career Leap, I'll leave it to you now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Ebenehita. You have been such an amazing speaker. I want to see reactions on the comments if you enjoyed this session. Let's appreciate our speaker today. Let's have so many reactions. Let her know that she did such an amazing job. She has gone above and beyond to ensure that we get all the nitty-gritties that we need to know about this project management. And I believe that a lot of people have gained so much insight and would actually take steps, actionable steps, to begin their project. So much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see all of you, Billy, Faith, Chooks, Ifoma. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, thank you to our amazing speaker. Right. Wisdom, we are glad you had an amazing time. We're so glad you had an amazing time. Now, for those of us who may have questions about what Career Leap does, please, you can visit the website, read about us. For those who are interested in maybe traveling abroad for their studies, project management is one of the courses that has like a very high chance of helping you gain admission. So you can as well reach out to any of our admin, have a conversation with them on how you can actually get onboarded. We have the link to the website on the comments. You can check that, fill the form, You don't have to pay any amount of money to fill the form. We're available to answer all of your questions. Thank you so much, ma'am. We're grateful. And I think that brings us to the end of um, this particular session. We're going to be bringing more exciting, more insightful people to come and give us different professional courses or webinars rather, that can actually help us scale, that can actually help us earn more money while we're here in Nigeria. And for those who are looking to travel abroad, it will level the playing ground for you and give you better opportunities to gain the kind of opportunities that you actually need to grow. So either of these people, we actually cater to them via our boot camp, via the Career Leap Academy. Just reach out to us, go to the website, reach out to any of the admin. We're always available to answer. We're everywhere on social media. Send us a DM and we're going to answer all of your questions. That being said, I bid you all good night and thank you for joining. We're going to be sharing links to this recording. Okay, we're going to be sharing the links to this recording so you can have access to it. I think that would be on YouTube, so you can just visit the YouTube page. And then we're also going to be sharing the slides, right? Thank you so much. Olayoye, I see you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening and good night.